welcome back to Smash and S Podcast. This is our recap for the Gauntlet 2, Episode 6 and 7. My name is Zach, and as always, I'm joined by my wife, Hannah.
Hey, hey, hey.
And as different than last week, I'm joined by my best friend, Jake.
It's the return.
Yeah.
The return.
You haven't been talking for a week.
I'm having to get back into it, but before I go any further, how's everybody doing tonight?
Pretty good.
How are you guys doing? Y'all fresh off a vacation? You look well rested.
Not a vacation.
Yeah, really.
We're fresh off a trip, but not a vacation.
I'd put it that way.
We discussed on our last day, on our way home, we're like, we actually need a vacation now.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a vacation just because, when you're with 3 kids under the age of 10 at most of the time.
Oh, my God.
It's a lot.
It was so fun.
4, 7, and 10, right? Or I'm close.
Yeah.
It
was really fun, but it was also very loud and very chaotic.
Yeah.
Just around the clock. They would wake us up like 3 hours before we were like waking up.
Yeah. It's a lot,
It's a lot.
I can definitively say, had Shake Shack and In-N-Out back to back to determine it. Shake Shack's better.
Shake Shack all day
It's
long.
better.
I don't think I've had either.
Yeah,
You had In-N-Out with us when we took you to Utah.
Was that In-N-Out
That's
or
the first
Whataburger?
place.
It was In-N-Out.
Whataburger's the South.
I wasn't impressed.
In-N-Out's burgers are good. Their fries are awful.
Chalk. You're eating tasteless chalk.
Yeah.
But I like In-N-Out. I've had it several times. I've never had Shake Shack until this trip. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
We were supposed to go in Utah, and then we didn't.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had one in the airport, and we were just like, it's like 10 a.m. We don't want to eat it right now.
Also, I don't know that that's what I want sitting on my stomach on a 3-hour flight.
Exactly.
Right.
So that's why we didn't do it.
Yeah.
But Shake Shack, definitively. Burgers, I'd say better.
Fries.
Buns better. Fries, much better.
Amazing. There are pickles.
I don't eat pickles, so.
Their pickles are good.
I got to tell you, I think Jack's has underrated burgers.
I don't like their burgers.
The beef tastes weird.
Yeah, it does.
Their bacon cheeseburger is about as good a bacon cheeseburger as I've had at any fast food restaurant.
I haven't had one in a long time, but the one of the few times that I've gone to Jack's and got a burger, they were doing like, hey, here's our special fancy burger, and we got it, and I was like, this has a weird twang to it, and I don't know what it is, and I don't like it.
I actually think it's a double bacon cheeseburger too, so it's double that meat.
The only
Double that
time,
meat.
like, I don't go to Jack's very often, but any time that I do,
That's a very southern chain.
The only thing I get is a plain grilled chicken sandwich with pickles and French fries. I like their French fries. They put like a cheesy salt on it. It's good.
I refuse to get any sort of grilled chicken from any fast food place because it's all rubbery.
It's hard
Not
to get.
Jack's.
It's hard to get good grilled
And
chicken.
not Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Zaxby's grilled chicken is straight rubber. I don't think it's real meat.
Well, I
at
think
all.
Zaxby's, if you're talking about all the big chicken places, Zaxby's is the worst, and I cannot understand. The Zaxby's here is always lined up out to the road.
Yeah.
I like
And
Zaxby's all right.
I don't understand it.
I
do
it.
not like Zaxby's.
The only thing I'll get at Zaxby's is a salad.
I'd take Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, KFC,
Slim
Agreed.
Chickens.
Slim
Chickens.
Chickens. I'd take them all over Zaxby's. I don't understand it.
I
They will
second that.
They will not sponsor this podcast as
I'm
long
on
as
it.
I'm
I'm
around.
on it.
So
We're here.
In
Solidarity.
I like Zaxby's all right. It's not like my favorite place or anything. And now that we have a Slim Chickens, which is relatively new, I don't eat a Zaxby's ever anymore.
Slim Chicken's so much better.
And I agreed on the Slim Chickens take, and I still haven't even eaten there.
It's good.
So you're just, no matter what, you're
Zaxby's is the bottom.
You need to try their wrap. Their
Zaxby's wrap.
No, Slim Chickens has a chicken wrap.
We may go. We may go this weekend.
Okay.
They put it in like
We
a
went last night.
like a spinach
yeah.
a spinach tortilla. It's great.
No, we don't have to do that.
Well, we may have to do a secondary pod about
Food.
Food.
I could
around
go
here.
on forever.
Yeah, let's
We
make that
could
happen
do a
soon.
podcast
I-
where we go back and forth like Shake Shack versus In-N-Out and like try them both. And
That's
it's like,
already been done by a lot of stuff.
I know,
Well,
but
we
we
knocking on
could
my
give
chair.
our own take on it. There's 3 of us, so it's there's not going to be a tie ever.
There's a lot of Redemption House options
Yeah,
bouncing around
exactly.
here. There's
Yeah.
one that I think I'd really like to do. I thought about it on the drive over here. For those of you who don't know, I have 3 little brothers. One of them which just moved into my house.
and you have
with me.
one
Older brother
that we
that's
don't know where he
disappeared.
lives.
Yeah,
He may have
well,
been abducted by aliens.
his name is Dawson. He just moved in. Is it 3 weeks ago now? It's been about 3 weeks. And I think it would be good to have him on a Redemption House pod.
He's been on.
I know, but just for him to talk about, let's hear what it's like to enter into the adult world from him.
Okay.
Because he's a very different kind of,
that's fine. We have to get another mic.
We would, but you know what I mean? Like, the boy's been very sheltered.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like really culture shock to him.
And it's an hour away from where he grew up.
It's an hour away, yeah. So I think we all have to get out there on our own every now and then, and I think he would have a very interesting take on what it's been like. Y'all don't agree?
No, I very much agree.
You literally just assumed we didn't agree.
Your brother is the same age as my little sister that's closest to my age.
That's right.
And very similar temperaments, very similar personalities.
Is that true? Can you confirm?
They are both very timid.
They both would be the type to like, you know what? It is probably my fault.
Yes, and like up until the last 3 or 4 years, if you looked at my sister wrong or she thought you looked at her wrong, there were times where she would run to her room and lock herself in her closet and cry for hours.
Yeah, have you ever bought Han a gun?
Yes,
he's bought me two guns.
It's the kind of thing where if Han was loading this gun and actually accidentally shot you in the knee, if Dawson was in the room, he'd have been like, "It's my fault. I'm sorry.
I should have told her not to shoot you."
Yeah,
I should have stopped her.
So yeah,
what a weird segue though.
But it's funny because my sister hasn't moved out yet. Mm-hmm. And like your brother is with your youngest brother, they're tied at the hip.
They grew up together. I mean, they're 2 years apart, and they are just
very similar.
My two sisters are 3 years apart, but they are like twins. And the older one is she's doing a summer program at the beach because she's going to school to be a marine biologist, and she has to take this class, and it's 4 weeks, and it's like all day long throughout 4 weeks in a row, and she can't commute 7 hours to get to class each day, and so she's having to stay at the dorms at the local college that they're having it at, and it's going to be her first time leaving. And it was the week before, no, it was a few days before Zach and I left for our trip. She came up to have lunch and just kind of spend some one-on-one time with me. And she kept saying how scared and nervous and anxious she is because she's never left like this. Like she goes to college an hour away from home. She has a dorm that she does not stay in. She just drives an hour home. And so this is literally going to be her first time leaving. And so I'm eager to hear what Dawson has to say about it, because it might give me an idea of what to expect in May with my sister, because she's really having a hard time with it.
I don't know how you guys want me to segue out of this, because you just went off about all kinds of very small details about things that
Zach saw a groundhog yesterday.
It has nothing to do with the challenge or anything like that.
The challenge, it's kids becoming adults.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
It is a challenge. Half of these kids are 18, 19.
Patreon.com/SmashingHeads podcast.
That's where you'll hear about this stuff.
Yeah, that's where you hear more about
There's
this
your
type
segue.
of things. Yeah. Yeah. You everybody gun? Yeah. We watched the Gauntlet, episode 2, episode 6 and 7. Did you listen to last week's episode?
I listened to the intro because again, you got it right. I think this is the second time that I haven't been on.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the other time was for.
I don't remember either, but I knew there was.
I think I just needed a break.
Something happened. Yeah, it was just like,
and I just was I just want to take the week off.
We just had to record because we couldn't work it out another time, and so
we talked about the Mandela effect and.
Is it Mandela or Mandala?
Mandala is the designs.
Okay.
Nelson Mandela is
Mandela is the
who it's named
Mandela
after.
effect.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always curious. Are they going to talk crap about me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you should have kept listening.
Yeah.
Oh, did it happen?
Stick with it.
I honestly don't remember what we talked about.
I don't either.
Obviously, did you watch the episodes?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't have any notes or takes.
That's fine.
What did you think about the intro? You didn't get to that point.
Oh, I mean, didn't y'all have like a special intro the last time?
I couldn't remember, and we were so rushed having to go on vacation like that. I didn't want to go back because I have no idea what episode it was that you didn't do it.
I don't remember.
But it was a song because I picked it out.
Yeah, I just couldn't, and so I was like, I just got to get this out, like get it up and get it out, and
that's what she said.
Yeah, and
that
I did.
Is what she said.
Wow,
I didn't even actually like. We recorded a Survivor finale pod before that. It's still not out because just with.
For real?
I thought it was going to work more when we were on vacation. I'm telling you, man, it just wore me out. And I was like, I'm not working during this. Because typically, it doesn't bother me to do stuff like that. I didn't even
You usually do work
Yeah,
on
I didn't even
vacations.
get my laptop out. I was like, I don't even want to think about it. Because it's not... I did? I got my laptop out to play...
You showed me this.
Xbox Games
cool.
Cloud.
That's freaking cool,
Yeah,
man.
if you have an Xbox and you have Games Pass, you can just get on their website and sync your controller to your iPad or your phone or your MacBook or whatever, or if you have a PC or Android, and you can just stream and play games over Wi-Fi. You don't even have to have a system.
Maybe
That's
I'll
cool.
finally get an Xbox now. Like
I
I've been
saw
promising
some in
you
store
for years.
when we were in
Yeah,
California.
we walked into a Target and
Well-
they had them in stock.
That's the first I've seen that.
I'm gonna. You guys are aware. I just made a big purchase recently, so
Yeah,
it's probably gonna be a minute. So,
That's
yeah,
okay.
circumcised.
what do you think that feels like?
I don't know.
As an adult,
Do you think they numb it?
I would hope so.
God,
Well,
that's got to be the worst kind
What
of pain.
day is it?
That's a sensitive spot.
Yeah.
Really? Really?
Somebody, I guess it.
It's Thursday. What does that have to do with
No,
anything?
last night they talked about it in the in the sermon. It was who was it? Moses. It happened when he was an adult.
Hey, there was a Red Sea involved.
Yeah.
Not related.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's get into episode 6 and 7 of the Gauntlet 2. We're 6 episodes in at this point. I think last week we talked about it. You probably didn't hear it. I forget Montana's even on this show.
You didn't this time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she had a little bit more of a storyline,
That's right.
but that's in the next episode, I believe. Yes, that's in the next one. So episode 6 kind of bookends with Brad and Derek drunk fighting each other, and then the episode ends kind of that way as well. It's interesting to go back and kind of watch these older seasons because I think we all... Would you say, Jake, when you were watching, you were a fan of Derek back then? Or it seemed like it?
I can remember I was actually more of a fan of Brad.
I was
because
too.
I watched his Real World season.
See,
so I
I-
had
I-
more of a
Have you ever watched any Road Rules seasons?
none. Never watched Road Rules.
I haven't either.
Ever.
I've seen clips of it, but I've not ever watched it. Some people on our Slack group was like, "Here, you should watch this one and this one." And I just haven't. I'm interested in it because we've got good characters. I'm obviously like Darrell and Kendall and Abe and Derek. All these people came from Road Rules, and with the Brad and Derek thing, but even Brad comes off as just like, "What? Do you,
I don't
why
know how
are
to
you getting
describe
into this?"
him. Man, I don't. I feel the way his mannerisms, the way he
Yeah.
kind of like does his little motions.
You're doing like karate.
It almost
moves
looked like a Tekken character.
Yeah, it's like a video game where you like program certain amount of like move sets, and his arms are just
Yeah.
up, but it's like
Yeah.
not natural.
His
looking.
hands don't be. You just kind of like
It's like a
'cause,
marionette.
like PlayStation
almost.
characters would have like fixed like hands. They didn't have fingers. It was like
Yeah.
There's
you know
not
what I
enough
mean?
pixels to move
Right.
around.
So that's what he looked like.
Yeah.
It's
It
funny
was
looking.
strange.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's what I was asking about Derek, because it's the same thing happened with Brad. Is I was just like watching these people back then, like they don't come off as good as what I remembered. But I think that's probably with age things changed. Obviously, I did tell her last week, which you didn't hear, because I don't think you got that far. I've always not liked Beth, and
Okay.
I remember exactly where I was when
did talk
I
about
saw
this.
Tina punch Beth in the forehead. I was at my parents' house in the upstairs room
That's right.
with the sunlights on like a Saturday afternoon, and there was a challenge marathon, and I was so happy that she did it. Like that's stuck with me throughout all these
That's
years.
a core memory.
Yeah,
I know exactly where I was.
I do not.
I watched that season. I don't remember this season very much at all, if I'm being totally honest. But Brad and Derek obviously drunk, fighting about who knows what.
Well, Brad had approached Derek, and I guess Brad thought they were real good buddies, and because Derek got upset, and he's like, he doesn't even know me like that.
Turns out they've only known each other for 6 months at this point.
According to Derek. Yeah.
But Brad had an issue since Derek had become team captain. He thought Derek had like changed. He's like, you're not acting like you've changed so much. And he said that like once or twice, and Derek, it's like it was like it flipped a switch in him, and he just lost it. He's like, you can't tell me that I've changed. You don't know me. It's just like a whole thing. But
Could be fair.
The thing is, the last episode, we talked about how we're not super big fans of Derek because of the way that he's acting. And so, I mean, I'm not against Brad in this.
No, I just don't think either of them look like... Because at one point in the episode, Brad's like, he's not the smartest kid here or something. And I was like, well, neither one of you really are, if we're being honest. And... like that's not what they were known. They were known for competing super hard, never giving up all that. Brad's known arguably for Darrell just like making him have a big egg on his face. You know how that thing swelled up?
Yeah, it was really bad.
It just happened. So we get to the daily in this one. It's just called Body Painters, and they're like, hey, you gotta wear Speedos, and then like TJ like very specifically name drops the paint company and like what type of paint it is.
Ticonderoga.
That's a wild name.
It's the company that makes the number 2 pencils that you use for standardized tests.
Well, sure, but like this just seemed like they're like, hey, this company said they'd give us $5,000 to use their paint in a daily. What can we do? Like this daily would never fly in like today's era at all, and it's like there's not even much to it. I do appreciate the Speedo part of it.
There was also ska music.
There was a little bit of ska music, which hey, I'm always in the mood for that. But it's just like this was the most like Vacation Bible School level daily, other than Speedos, obviously.
Yeah,
and rubbing each other with it.
I mean, they weren't really rubbing each other. They were just
they had to shower off, and they were rubbing each other.
I said other than the showers, but it's just like, hey,
you said other than the Speedos.
Well, I did say that. You're right. I meant the Speedos and showers together. I was kind of putting those things, but I do appreciate in this era when they always are like, we don't really have a good idea for something. Let's just put everybody in Speedos. Right. That was just kind of the thing they did.
Well, I do like in the process of explaining how you can't transfer the paint. Timmy does inform us that you can't put it in your mouth, which I don't know.
I did laugh at that when he said it.
I don't know who would be willing
to
just like put it in, just dump it in here.
That's what I was like.
That's so stupid because it's gonna cake your mouth even when you spit it out. It's still gonna be in there.
I thought that there's later in this episode at the very end, which we'll get to. There's something else about Timmy, but I enjoy him on this show. He's so out of place to me. Him and David, they just seem like they're not supposed to be here. They're like and they're really not that old. Like they're like 31 at this point.
But they look like they're really old.
I guess like I don't know if things have changed. Just like 31's the new
50.
I don't know. They just seem a lot older. But we get another Best Buy gift certificate. We do get Cyrus showing off his Speedo.
That's right.
And
it looked like it was 1 or 2 sizes too small.
A little bit of movement to that dump truck.
You know what? He's like, you can call me at 976 LOTTA.
That's pretty good.
And
what area code is that?
I would assume California. I don't know.
You can look it up.
Look it up.
Let me look.
Did either of you call the number?
He's from Southern California. It came up as Mongolia, but there's no way it's Mongolia. North American. Why is this not working? Can you find it? I can't find it.
976.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you type?
Has not been assigned to a city or state as of September 2014. It's an area code that is designated to the United States, but what? So he just pulled that out of nowhere.
Since 2014, that means it could have used to been.
Well, when I typed it into Google, it pops up Canada, and then here's California.
Yeah, I would assume it's California one. The country code 976 is Mongolia. So like the U.S. is 1, like one. The Mongolia is 976. So
did either of you call the number?
No, because it's way too many numbers.
Probably costs way too much money too.
Yeah, I don't want to. Honestly, with however many numbers there is in whole LOTTA, that's probably 10 right there.
Yeah, it's probably like an international number.
I'm not calling that. I don't think I could.
It could be anybody.
Sure, I mean that could be a whole podcast. Just call a number because it could be anybody.
It's fun.
So, there's not a lot to say about this daily.
It was close the whole time.
They just dump paint on each other and then
that was it.
Cover a poster board, basically.
This daily probably cost, if you don't count the sponsor of the paint company, $100.
If that.
Yeah.
Well, I
how much were the Speedos?
Yeah,
your Speedo budget is probably what.
All right, a couple $100.
Yeah. But nothing compared to anything they're doing these days. But, I mean, I did appreciate that when Derek was giving his walk-off interview, somebody ran by and put their Speedo.
I think it was David?
I couldn't tell. It happened in a flash. And I didn't want to rewind it because Paramount Plus freaks out if you try to do anything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And so, they just right over both holes, right over his face.
Right.
And, that's good.
He thought it was kind of funny.
It's one of those things you can't, like... You recognize that even if you're not laughing, that it's funny if you're the person that happens to.
Right.
Like pushing people in the pool.
Yeah. So the veterans win. Not a lot happens. We get into the deliberation, and Alton. The vets and the rookies have complete different strategies. The rookies basically like whoever the captain wants is who they're going against. The vets do the whole blind vote thing. And Alton picks Adam. Adam, as soon as he gets picked, puts his sunglasses on. It's like he was trying to not cry.
Or look at anybody.
Yeah, it was definitely like a defensive mechanism. He picks Adam, and they're inside. He immediately puts his sunglasses on and then talks with his sunglasses on the rest of the time.
I thought
and pulls them up when Alton gives him the choice to pick.
Oh, yeah.
Or I guess Alton had picked the elimination that was most catered to Adam.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which, spoiler, didn't matter.
Didn't matter.
But I thought Adam had a good attitude about it. He didn't get mad and want to fight. He said, quote, "It's not why me, it's why not me. What have I done to show off so far?"
He's also the smallest guy.
Yeah, and he said as much. And then it ends up being the captain's choice for what the elimination is. I thought it was super respectable for Alton. I think Alton knew that he was going to win no matter what, but he didn't want to embarrass Adam. Because they're friends.
And Alton
is a good person.
I think I was just waiting on you. I heard you breathe in.
He has to be the freakiest specimen that's ever been on the challenge, right? Like he has
Alton?
to be. Yes,
it's close, man. Like
prime Alton is.
It's I don't know who you could say definitively would beat him.
I remember when we did the fantasy draft with Logan.
Yeah.
And nobody picked him.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, how did I just forgot. Like
Same.
It wasn't
I forgot.
Outright didn't want to pick him, but he has to be.
He should have been probably in the top 5.
Yeah.
That was the biggest oversight of that whole thing.
It's wild. He is. I don't have words for how incredible this guy is as an athlete.
Not even just athletically, but also just at the time of these old shows, just one of the most down to earth, good people that are on TV. Now we get him later on in Battle of Seasons, and he's in a weird place.
Took a weird turn.
That's a weird season for him.
Is that the one where he was with Sarah?
Kind of, and then he just I don't want to go out today, so nobody gets to go out today. This Alton would have never done that.
No.
I think he was just so far removed from the MTV stuff that getting back into it just put him in a weird headspace.
And then you see him when he comes back for All Stars. He's the kind of guy. He's wearing fishing attire. So he's
the whole time.
Probably more of an outdoorsy, nature-y
still incredible
kind of guy.
shape though.
Oh yeah.
Now he did have some weird gas out moments on that one trail thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still. And then other than maybe allegedly cheating on whoever he had back home with Hisela. That's a whole nother story. But
I forgot that was him.
Yeah, and Hisela's on this season too.
Yeah.
Or she was. She's one of them that quit. But Yeah, I mean, Alton, that was probably the biggest oversight we had when we did that weird draft thing with Logan.
And it seems all of us.
Yeah, everybody just forgot.
You know,
because again, when you put that many names together, you're just like thinking, who do I pick next and all that. And I don't even think he was on the list, was he? That's what it was. We only did people within the last like X number of seasons or X number of years, and he hadn't been on again.
Maybe that's why.
And then what happened was we all got to pick one person outside of that.
That's what it was. Because that's where like a Landon came in.
And I picked The Miz, I think.
Yeah.
And so that's what happened. We all picked, and we were like, wait, nobody picked Alton.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Again, man, when you're looking at that many names and like you're recording, it's just it's a whole nother thing. But
I actually didn't know Alton really until All Stars.
Great guy.
Because I had seen him on Battle of the Seasons, but I forgot that he existed. Also, you guys kept saying that wasn't really him.
It was weird.
Kind of like Bug-Eye Brad.
I'd say Bug-Eye Brad was closer to original Brad than we probably gave him credit for, but Battle of the Seasons Alton was odd.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only
not the same person.
It's just like it's like someone had convinced him that he should come back, and he was real hesitant about it, and then he got there and immediately was like, oh, this is a mistake, and now I have to write it out because I can't quit.
Yeah, it's like that episode of The Office after Saber takes over. Michael Scott goes to David Wallace's house to convince him to buy the company back, and he leaves, and he's like,
you just watched this on the plane, didn't you?
I know.
Yeah.
He's like, but it's a good analogy. He's like, that's not David Wallace. That's someone pretending to be David Wallace that's living in his house.
You know what I watched on the plane?
Sonic.
Not far off. I watched the Tomb Raider movie.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen it?
Nope.
It's not bad. It's not great, but I would like the new Uncharted's better than it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I would watch if they make sequels of it.
I would have liked Uncharted a lot better had they casted anyone but Tom Holland. I'm kind of sick of Tom Holland.
I was okay with Tom Holland, but he wasn't as funny as what Nathan Drake in the games is.
Right.
Do you think that was Tom Holland, or do you think that was the writing?
Probably a little bit of both. It's been in production since 2009.
Yeah.
It's been in production so long that Mark Wahlberg was initially cast as Nathan Drake, and then it fell.
Which would have, I think, been a cooler fit.
But then he got 12 years older.
Yeah.
And so then they moved in. I think he's fine in the Sully role, if I'm being honest.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But I think if they had gone ahead and done it in 2009 with Mark Wahlberg as Nathan Drake, it would have been so much better because Mark Wahlberg is funny.
Nathan Fillion would have killed it, but he's too old now.
Right.
Because they're thinking franchise. How can we make 4 or 5 movies out of this?
Yeah.
So anyway, the Alton does pick Capture the Flag to give Adam a chance. Nobody else in the house probably would have done that because, again, it's self-preservation. You're just trying to stay there. And also, Alton's team wants him to stay.
Yeah.
And it was Landon right after in the interview. He's like, it's so dumb. Like, why would he do this?
Yeah.
Some of them were a little upset that he chose that elimination.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they want him to stay because clearly he is a big factor in them winning and doing well in dailies and all that. And so they get to the gauntlet. And I mean, like, it's over in 3 seconds.
It has to be, with no quitting involved, it has to be the quickest elimination, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's literally like 4 seconds.
It's over. It's under 5 seconds. Like, I didn't time it, but I was like...
And it's not so much that, he dominated, because Adam, even TJ noted, like, he got up quick, too.
Yeah. TJ said, I didn't think anyone would do it as fast as what you were doing. And then Alton just destroyed you, because that's an elimination that would never fly like these days because you want the eliminations to be like suspenseful and whatever, and
they want to drag it out.
Done
over.
The only one that might even be close is the one where Nany was taped to the chair, and then who was she going against?
Georgia.
It may have been Georgia.
But that still went on.
But I'm saying if you take out the taping part, the breakout and whatever, it was done real fast. But that was a huge letdown. But I mean, as far as just physical stuff, he's like Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he was just up that thing in a way that is
unnaturally fast.
I don't think anybody there would have beat him if they got a head start.
Yeah,
yeah. I agree.
Pretty wild.
I mean, he just destroyed it.
So Adam goes home, and then we come back around to Derek and Brad, round 2. At least from what we've seen, it's round 2. It may be round 5 at this point. And then Brad spits on the floor for some reason.
Well, he tells Derek that he's not scared of him, and then Derek just starts yelling again.
To be fair to Derek, if someone's acting like that and then spits on the floor, and you're drunk, I don't know how you react.
Yeah.
Then this is where Timmy comes in, and I don't know if you noticed what he's wearing, but he's wearing, because they got their shirts off, they're like drunk, and kind of the end of the night. He is in jeans with looks like it's probably a belt of some sort, a black polo with a logo on it, and then like his safari hat. And I was like, he looks like a zoo worker. He looks like he stumbled into the wrong place after he just got off work. And I was like, of course he would, because he fits in so weirdly.
He heard drunk people yelling and ran in to make sure that his alligators had not gotten out of their cage again.
I missed it.
Yeah, I rewound it because Hannah didn't see it. And she's like, he looks like a zoo worker. And I showed her my notes. And I was like, that's what I just wrote.
Yeah, I missed it.
Shout out to him for probably being up at 2 a.m. dressed like that.
It makes me want to dress like that.
So everyone's just real drunk. Mark tries to end it, and then I guess they kind of do. At one point, Brad's still just yelling. He's like, I guess he's not who I thought he was. And Derek's just sitting there, not moving. And then they finally hug.
Well, the thing is, right before they hug, Derek says in a confessional, I think it's a confessional, he's like, I just don't want him to touch me. I just don't want to touch him or anything. And then Brad comes up and hugs him.
I'm going to try to find the Timmy thing while we're
yeah, pull it up.
It's on episode 6 because we're not on that yet. And then the episode ends. I don't know. I don't have anything else really going for this one. The elimination was super. The daily was very
easy.
I guess easy. Yeah, just uninspired. And then it was just called Body Painters. And then they
didn't even get creative with a name.
No. And then the elimination was over in like 4 seconds. And then I guess why they had so much Brad and Derek filler is because there's nothing else to show. And so then that's the end of that episode. We go into episode 7, and
Centers on Beth right away.
Right away, she tells somebody. I don't remember who she's telling. It may have been David.
I think it was David.
It was David.
She
I had
said,
David written down.
I've never been voted off for being in last place. And that may be true.
Uh-huh.
I don't know her track record at this point.
She also tells him that she's trying her best to stay out of trouble, but that she's also disappointed that Tanya wasn't on this season so that she could get her comeuppance.
Yeah.
I also forget you got episode 6 pulled up.
Yeah.
The way Brad's just constantly like flexing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he just
there's the Tekken hands right there. Believe me, I'm not scared of you, bro. We have closed captioning on because we don't want it to come across. I just want you to see Timmy because that's where he spits. And then here he comes. Here he comes. He just wanders in out of the like iguana enclosure. He's like, "Hey guys, hey, what's going on?"
Does he not look like a zoo?
That was it. That was it. He just wandered in. He didn't have anything to do with the scene.
That's pretty good.
It's crazy.
So we're in episode 7, and right when they do that, I was like, "Well, clearly there's going to be some Beth drama in this episode."
She said she almost like smirks when she says she's trying to stay out of trouble. Like that's a lie. She's not. She loves to stir up whatever she can. And then David says in a confessional, he's like, I'm trying to keep her at arm's length because I know she's going to pull something.
And by the way, Beth is probably younger than both of us, Jake, at this point.
Pretty wild. She looks the exact same, like
now.
Yes.
Yeah. So it worked. She looked way older when she was younger.
Maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want to age fast so you can age slow.
Because now she looks about the same.
Yeah.
And it's 20 years later. And I do know a handful of people in our Slack group were talking about they're excited about the real world homecoming thing with her because they're going to make her watch all of the like awful like instigating stuff that she did and want her try to defend herself. I never was a fan of Beth. I never again, that's why I was so happy when Tina punched her in the forehead. Her and Julie. I never liked Julie.
Yeah, which carries over, going back and watching this. I don't so much mind Beth on this season right now. I mean, she doesn't bother me.
Even this episode?
Yeah.
She bugged me in this one.
Really?
Yeah, up until now, it didn't bother me, but this was like, oh yeah, I remember why.
Well, in the spirit of all the Bethness, Montana apparently has some issues with Beth from
This
a
is the
previous
most camera
season.
time she's ever gotten.
I know. So they were on a season 10 years prior to this, where I don't know if Beth just got on her nerves.
It said the
or
challenge season 1
Mm-hmm.
in the like the little caption.
That's how old Beth is.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Montana says there's been no growth over 10 years with Beth. And she says, except in her thighs.
Burned
And
it.
I made a note. I said, was it really an insult? Because nowadays that's a good thing.
No, back then.
Back then you wanted to be just like a stick.
This was like the era of like as little as possible, and like the low rise jeans and all that stuff.
Which the low rise jeans are trying to make a comeback. I'm fighting.
Everything's
it
a
as hard as I
circle.
can.
Everything is just going to come
Right,
back
right.
around. I told her, I was like, we're only like a little bit away from not only just like the huge baggy pants and all that, because I'm watching some Nike skateboarding stuff of like young guys, like early 20s, or late teens. They're obviously that's where the majority of the skateboarders are coming from, because when you get like our age, you don't want to get hurt. And so I was like, these guys look like they're in a 90s skate video, like just straight up, or just wearing stuff that are from the 90s. And I was like, you know what that means? I was like, ska's coming back. It's going to happen.
Nope.
It's going to happen.
I didn't have anything to do with it then, and I won't
It's
now.
gonna happen.
I hate ska.
Anyway,
Is it not the worst?
It is the worst music.
I can't understand
It's
it.
the worst.
Jay,
It's the worst.
We just
It's-
watched Raise, which
Listen,
Yeah,
ska is worse than country music.
no, not even
Yes.
close. Not even close.
Yeah.
Yes.
You did smooth like Applebee's on a date night. Get out of here.
I don't
That's
even-
just, I despise that song, and that should tell you how much I hate ska.
Well, you know what? Ska's never done anything to you, and ska's about everyone being. If everyone in the world just listened to ska a little bit, the world would be a much happier place, because it's not ever about being upset or anything. It's just about having fun and going pool parties and just hanging out with your friends.
I take full offense at all ska music.
Well, you know what?
It's
Yeah.
offensive to my ears.
As Dr. Phil says, I find that offensive to my sensibilities.
Offensive?
Offensive. He says, I find that
No,
offensive.
you said
I thought that's what he said, and I was like, he said offensive?
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
He said, no, he says, I find that offensive to my sensibilities.
You ever seen the episode of Dr. Phil where
I love Dr. Phil.
I don't?
where he
but-
had Nelson on there.
Oh, that's true. You haven't seen that
Still
one.
haven't watched it.
Where they bring in the guy from Bum Fights, and he just dresses up
Immediately.
as Dr. Phil.
Oh,
Have you not seen that?
did he dress up as
No.
Dr. Phil?
Oh, he dressed up as Dr. Phil, and they kicked
Oh,
him off
he
the
did.
show. Yeah.
They kicked him off
I
for
remember
that?
I remember them kicking him off the show. But
Yeah.
He
Bum Fights is a sketchy thing.
he stopped the video. Yeah, pull it up.
Yeah.
And he I don't think he kicked him off for his look. I think he kicked him off because he was like, this is horrible.
No, he kicks him off because he was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, and a lot of people said that it was staged, but I mean, I hope it's not, because it is really funny to go back and watch this. This is on break.com. Forgot about that
It's on
website.
YouTube. You can find it on
This-
YouTube. I don't
got
know.
it
why.
on
this
mute.
took me to I have it on mute. It took me Daily Motion actually. So Bum Fights, if you're not familiar, were guys that would pay homeless people to fight each other, and they would film it on video cameras, and then they would sell it similar to the way that Girls Gone Wild sold stuff, just like call
Yeah,
mail order
that's
No,
stuff.
pull this up.
crazy.
He's already kicked him off at this point. You can pull this up on YouTube.
Yeah, this. No,
Here
here,
we go.
you go. So this is what the guy normally looks like. That's what he looks like. It is a bad thing. You're exploiting people. He comes out dressed like that.
It's really bad, but I think the fact that he dressed up as Dr. Phil is hilarious.
And he does have a good point. he said, every time you bring someone on here, your job is to exploit whoever you're bringing on. Mm-hmm. Why are you any different from me? And I was like, he's not wrong. Like, that's what Dr. Phil does, is he brings people on that he can be like, audience, can you believe how these people are acting right here?
Yeah. Like that one kid that slaps his mom in the face.
Yeah. I used to like to watch those shows.
I never watched anything like that.
Dr. Phil's good at exploiting people, and Beth says that running is the thing that she does best, which I don't think anyone would ever say that about Beth and her challenge career.
No, because it's the girls, the vet girls were in a room together, and they're all talking like, oh, what do you guys think the daily's going to be? I hope it's not this. And Beth goes, I hope it's running. And they're like, why? And she's like, well, that's the thing that I do best. I really hope that the daily is running.
And no offense to Beth, because she actually did all right in this daily. Yeah. I still wouldn't look at this and be like, you know what? Oh, it's a running thing. Beth's going to kill it.
Yeah.
Like, she's better than Robin.
What bothered me was the fact that she said all that and then gets her wish come true and then cries about having to run. They want her to run, and
I'm on Beth's side here.
She pitches a fit about it.
It's kind of down the middle for me, but I didn't even write down the name of this daily. I don't even know what it's called. It's probably just called like
Cool Runnings,
Chariot Pull.
She hadn't seen Cool Runnings until like a year ago. I made her watch it.
Oh, man, that's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
You made me watch it like right after the pandemic hit.
He's about to make you watch Sonic the Hedgehog.
That's true.
He's not.
Right around the corner.
He's not. He tried really hard a few times.
And I told her, I was like, Idris Elba is. I was like, they're making a Knuckles spinoff on with Idris Elba, and it's his backstory. It's like, I'll watch anything with Idris Elba in it.
Well,
and
then
she
he
didn't
told
realize
me
that Knuckles was a Sonic character.
No, and he was like, well, then why won't you watch Sonic? And I was like, why would I watch Sonic? And he's like, Knuckles is a character from Sonic, and I said, I can't watch it.
Again, it's
out of spite.
It's the Crocs and the $1 million all over again.
It's out of
someone
spite
paid you,
at this
said,
point.
Han, we will pay you $1 million to just watch Sonic the Hedgehog. You have to think. She's thinking about that.
And it's not a bad movie.
I would watch any movie.
Yeah,
I'd watch any movie for $100.
I wouldn't.
I know of a couple that I'm not even going to talk about because that's how bad they are. That I wouldn't watch for
$500.
Some
1,000.
There are a couple movies in particular in my head that I've read the description of what happens in them, and I would
never
not
watched them.
And it is like horrible stuff happens.
There's two that I know of that I've never seen that no matter how much money in the world there is, you can't pay me to watch it.
What are the movies?
Clockwork Orange.
I've seen a Clockwork Orange.
Human Centipede.
I have not seen that. I don't want to see that.
I have seen Human Centipede.
I would.
You can't pay me to watch
mine
it.
are not on there.
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah, the two that I know about that I would not watch ever are a movie called Sallow the Hands of Fate or Manos the Hands of Fate. It may be Manos the Hands of Fate because it's a old like Italian movie from the 70s, and it's about exploitation, and they make people eat poop and they throw up on. It's just a lot of stuff like that. Don't want to see it. And there's a movie called A Serbian Film, which I can't even talk about what they do in that movie. And just reading the Wikipedia article, I was like sick reading it, and I was like, don't ever want to see this.
I don't need to know.
What's it called?
No,
He's trying to save you.
Yeah, for real.
He doesn't want you to look it up.
Yeah, it's really bad. So there are again, but Sonic the Hedgehog is not a movie that you would not see for any amount of money. I'd pay somebody. We did pay somebody to watch Sonic the Hedgehog. Jake, we both did. We paid the theater.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's so stupid. I thought you really took somebody to watch it.
No. So
it seems like you would pay Dawson to watch it with you.
We're just gonna all get in the vehicle one day and just go grab a bite to eat, and then we're just gonna force ride you.
What?
Force drive you to the movie. Force ride sounds bad.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
What the heck? She's gonna be so confused not getting all that Sonic 1 continuity. Oh my god. So in this daily, there's 6 drivers, 3 males, 3 females per team, and you have to bring 2 people around the track. And the $1,000 Best Buy gift certificate. But here's what happens: the red team, based on just eliminations, has 2 more players than the blue team. So they say, red team, you got to sit 2 people out. Yes, that's how it should be. What it was in Double Agents, right? Or was it Spies, Lies, and Allies?
Maybe in both of them, Zach.
Where they were just like, oh, you got more players? That's cool. You win the daily.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Why? Like, this has been a precedent for so many years. Just even it out. Make that person unavailable for elimination.
Yeah.
Which, that's where the thing with Beth comes in, is people don't want her to be immune, I guess. Not immune, but is that the right word?
They don't want her immune from elimination.
Yeah. And
they
so,
want her to go home.
If they lost, they wanted her to go home. And so that's where the thing... And also, for someone who just said running is the best thing that I do, it's like, well, this is a running thing.
But she's not wrong that...
She's not wrong that she probably weighs the most comparatively. But at the same time, like, if you're looking at Montana doesn't strike me as like, oh, I want that person out there running for my team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's the thing.
And,
she probably wouldn't have done very well.
And I would say Montana probably rubs less people in the wrong way than Beth does.
Yeah, well, look, this has been Beth's MO up to this point and continues to be. And, you know, you got to live up to what, you know, the character you've built. And this is who Beth is. And, you know, I admire her because even in the midst of getting thrown in, she performed.
She cried. She did cry. Did you notice that?
Did she?
She cried.
They were bringing each other together. Hannah didn't see it, and I rewound it. And they're all holding hands, and Timmy's like telling them like what the game plan is. Single tear.
She's standing outside of the group.
Yeah. And so like that's the other thing is like, why are you crying about having to go in and run when you're like, oh, that's what I'm best? Like it was just...
She literally what bothered me was the fact that before the daily, she said she hoped the daily was running.
Yeah.
The daily ended up being running. She told that whole room of people running is what she does best. She hoped it was running. So why are you pitching a fit now when you've gotten what you asked for?
Do you really think she weighed a lot more than Montana or like Robin?
No.
Like I mean, and like none of these girls are like big, but they're like similarly built.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so like I think it's negligible that she might have technically weighed more. Now Cyrus clearly weighs more than a lot of the other guys. He's just a thicker guy. He always has been. We saw it 9'6", the whole lotta, whatever. 9'7", whole lotta. And so like he sits out. That makes sense because he's not only going to be the heaviest guy, he's just the heaviest person on their team, and you don't want to have to drive that person around. And so I don't know why Beth was campaigning so much to be out of this daily when this was right up to her self-proclaimed skill set. Mm-hmm. And so
that's what
it's not like
me.
Montana was like, I'm great at running too, but I can't do it.
Like that's the thing. Like I watched All Stars after not being a Beth fan, and I was okay with her.
Yeah,
I really was. I was
season.
fine with her, and I've been sort of fine with her up until this point. This scene right here is what bugs me so much about her.
Well, and then you get like the little stuff later where she'll like turn away and like she's like she's like Wario.
Super obnoxious and annoying.
I enjoy it.
Cringy.
But I'm not here. I don't watch this show to root for people because I don't know these people. I watch it for entertainment.
We know some of the people.
Yeah, but I'm not like outwardly like, even though we've brought Wes on here a couple of times, and I'd say we have as good a relationship with him as anyone we've brought on the show. I'm not like outwardly rooting for Wes, and I feel like he'd appreciate that take.
I don't know. He's pretty conceited.
I mean, he would probably say the smart thing to do.
No, yeah, he'd probably be like, "You're an idiot for not rooting for me."
Yeah, but I think he would understand.
Yeah, again, I do like having like, and I like that I don't fully know what happens in this season, so that way I do kind of have a rooting interest in things. Beth has always just rubbed me the wrong way. Same with Julie, and Julie tried to kill Veronica.
That's the same person?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I don't like Julie.
Yeah.
Julie hasn't really done anything this season, to be fair.
That's the thing.
She's laid pretty low.
Like you said when we were watching this episode, it was Julie's turn. Julie.
There's also Julian, which is confusing.
It was Julie's turn to run, and you're like, God, I just really don't like Julie. And I kept thinking, what's wrong with Julie? I don't understand.
So,
but she's the person that actively attempted to murder Veronica.
Not only that, but I said some things about that, and some people were like, one of the guys on our side group was like, you don't like Julie? He's like, I love, she's hilarious or whatever. And I was like, I just never have liked her. And they said that she would do like shady stuff and then be like, I'm just this little sweet Mormon girl that's never done anything. And then the funny thing was, a lot of these people after the Real World and all that would make money doing like appearance fees, and they probably still did pre-COVID, and like they would even speak at colleges and stuff. And apparently some of the other Real World castmates and stuff would go to like plan events to like, hey, this person's coming to our college to speak, and like Julie and her mom would call them and be like, we'll do it for less, and then they would go do it instead.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. It is funny because that is a real world villain.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're carrying your role on the show into real life.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty good.
It's
that means her mindset is like that 24/7. She lives that way.
I'm trying to read some other
It's
stuff.
not a persona she puts on for entertainment. That's really how she is.
Yeah, that's just so funny that like this is people's livelihood after the show, and she's like, "Oh, we'll do it for less. Yeah, whatever it is, we'll do it." And that's really funny to me. But anyway, the rookies win. The vets got out to a big lead to begin because I can't remember who the rookies had go first. I think Keena maybe, and she was just kind of slow compared to, it was a guy running against her, and she just didn't do as good. But then like the rookies were smart. They had like Alton, Kari, and MJ and Landon, like the two heaviest guys there.
Yeah,
and the rookies just ended up winning. But they cut it to look like Mark was close to whoever.
He wasn't close.
No.
And then, like, if you watch, you couldn't even see him in the frame. And so the rookies won very definitively. And good deliberation. And they do a vote, again, completely opposite. And they basically, Ace says they want whoever they think Ruthie can beat.
And he said he wants whoever.
Yeah, well, but
Ruthie
it seemed like that was kind of the sentiment of the room because they voted for Beth. And the thing that was kind of a wild card is TJ spun the wheel and it landed on Challenger's choice. And I didn't catch that at first because I was like, they cut to Beth. She's like, well, reverse tug of war is looking real good. I thought she was making a joke because Ruthie was about to pick. I didn't even realize there was a Challenger's choice.
Well, in the previous episode, it was the captain's choice.
Well, and that's happened twice now.
He thought it was the captain's choice, and he's like, why did they go with what Beth said?
Yeah.
And he rewound it, and it ended up saying Challenger's choice.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
get.
know.
Like, that's a fair way to do it. It's just a flip of a coin, basically.
Unlike Alton, Beth went with what suited her best. And,
100%.
Yeah.
Because anything like, if they would have had the capture the flag, like Ruthie would have won that.
For sure.
And Beth picked to her strengths, and that's just more than anything saying Alton was nice because I think almost everyone else there would have picked to their strengths. That's what you should do.
Right.
So reverse tug of war, and then they get out there, and then right away Beth starts acting like she's gonna quit, and it's like TJ had to like talk her into doing it.
I thought that she was just acting really weird, and then TJ mentioned like, "Oh, are you gonna quit too?" And she's like, "Ha ha ha ha!" And I was like, "No way."
Well, she was like,
really
"They don't really
quit?
want me here," and he's like, "You're not quitting." He's like, "You got to go over there."
She was saying how she knows her team doesn't want her there, and because of that, she doesn't really want to be part of the negativity. Which
there
whatever.
Would have been 3 girls' gauntlets in a row that someone quit.
TJ like tells her she doesn't have a choice. She's not allowed to quit.
I think she might have wanted to quit because she just was like, I'm tired of being here, and like he's just like, no, we're done with that. Like you're competing.
But then she ends up winning, and it completely turns into a different person.
Could have been a psych out tactic. I'm not saying it was.
Maybe
we don't know.
True, we don't know.
Beth is the mind that would do that kind of stuff.
Is that what she's known as? The mind?
The mind.
Yeah.
But, I don't really think Ruthie had a chance here.
No. I mean,
not that, Beth's got to have 30, 40 pounds on
and
her.
She's probably like 6 inches taller, too. And, like, that's, like, Ruthie, she tried her hardest.
She did. She really gave it her all.
And, like, for a second, I was like, Ruthie's low to the ground, and Beth is, like, upright. Like, I don't even know what her strategy. It worked just because, like, just physics wise, she could just outmaneuver her. But like Beth's technique was awful.
Yeah.
If it would have been anyone a little bit closer in her like weight division, like I think she would have probably lost because they would just kept pulling her back. It's just Ruthie is so small.
She just didn't have the weight to save herself.
Again, she's part Filipino or maybe fully Filipino. Filipinos are not known to be very tall.
Very small people.
They're very small people, and
Grandma's 4'6".
She might be the smallest person I've ever met.
She's tiny.
She got the first time I ever met her. She was standing behind the grill, and I didn't know anybody was back there. That's how short she was.
She moved, and he was like, "Oh,
yeah."
It scared him.
And so again, I like Ruthie just as a competitor, and it's just like this was just. It's just one of those things where you're not gonna have a chance.
These are the cards you're dealt.
Yeah, and so she tried her best, but Beth wins it, and right after that, Montana walks up to Beth and
apologizes.
She's like, "Hey, we're in our 30s and we can't be doing this. Congratulations!" And they finally like shake hands. It was like a weird conversation. They shake hands, and then Beth turns to the camera and goes, she's like, gags.
Yeah,
and I was like. I was trying to put myself in that position. Like, all right, so I'm in my early 30s. If I had just beat someone who I like wasn't, and like someone came up to me who I wasn't really cool with, I don't think I would turn and be like got him.
Yeah, because like when Montana was saying all that, Beth was like, I think we should put it behind us too. I agree. We are in our 30s. We need to start acting like it. Hello. What's the deal? It was so fake.
Yeah, again, like
you talking about from Beth?
Yes.
Oh, well, but that's Beth though.
Yeah,
like,
I do agree that is Beth.
That's full on like
yeah.
She because in that whole exchange, I guarantee Beth's thinking you're the first one going in.
Yeah,
if I have any control over it.
Well, like immediately after she had like a super inflated ego in the house and was just being really obnoxious and said that no one on their team could beat her, and she's gonna
I don't think that's true.
She said it more than once, and that she's the captain now. And then
you think she saw
at the end of the episode, she said that she can't wait to send Montana home.
What was the movie with Tom Hanks and then the Somali pirates?
Top Gun.
No,
that's Cruise.
No.
Yeah, and nothing to do with pirates.
Top Gun is
Tom Hanks and pirates.
Yeah, it's from like the last like 7-8 years. It's the Somalian guy who's like, I'm the captain now.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when she said that.
I never saw that movie.
It's a good movie. I liked it.
The Perfect Storm.
No.
That's Clooney.
Yeah, but movies like that about like being lost in the middle of the ocean, like I don't like that because that would be terrifying.
Yes, it would.
That's a real possibility sometimes when we fly.
That happened in Tomb Raider. The spoiler alert. God. They go find an island.
Are you upset because you've never seen Tomb Raider?
Yeah. You just ruined it.
Well,
did you play any of the newer 3 games? They're really good. They're like Uncharted, but not funny.
Yeah.
But that style.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, so that's the end of these 2 episodes. There was nothing memorable to talk about, post credits, all that stuff. You guys got any final thoughts for these 2
No
superlatives?
I want to give
Who smashed some heads?
Beth. I want to give it to her because I know neither one of you guys.
I'm not going to give it to
her. Smash some heads. The vet team voting in Beth versus Ruthie. Beth was shocked. Ruthie was disappointed. Some of the vets were upset because they wanted somebody they really thought Ruthie could beat.
Which was Beth. I mean, Beth would have lost to Ruthie in most of the eliminations, I think. But I'm going to give it to... it's hard just not to give it to Alton, just for the sake that we also didn't include him in that best of thing.
Yeah.
It was just an oversight, but I don't think anybody could have beat him in that elimination. So, for who got their head smashed?
Oh, man.
I got mine, but...
Han?
The vet team to themselves. Because now Beth is their team captain, and they all hate it.
Who got their head smashed? I guess Derek when he got David's Speedo.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
that's why I was like, I already got mine.
Yeah,
because he is all around both holes right over his head.
Right.
So yeah, that was
that
mine.
Arguably, David's penis head was.
Can't confirm or deny
Right.
100% that was David's.
A lot of heads involved.
Possibly. But again, what do you remember what season it was where they had to like sit on a block of ice and then
Yeah,
Yes.
it's one of the
like
Gauntlets or
Mark and
Infernos,
Rachel
yeah.
were a team.
Yeah,
And they had to like slide them and
Yeah.
like that. I like those type of dailies where it's just like
They did one time where it was a bar of soap.
that was more recent. That was like
That was,
Ashley Mitchell and some of them.
Corey
That's Bloodlines, I think.
Corey
Actually,
was
maybe
on
the
that
duel.
one.
maybe one
Really?
of the duels. Yeah,
It could be. All the sequel things like that happen so fast, they all run together to me. So, we said at the top of the show, patreon.com/smashingheads podcast. We do have our Survivor finale, which will come out this week, maybe tomorrow even. That will be dropping on there, and then we'll be doing a Redemption House again very soon. And if you're interested, one of our members on there is doing a March Madness Pick'em League.
oh yeah,
And so I'm going to post that on Patreon that anyone that's interested can get in on. And again, it's not for money or anything. It's just, for fun. And then, we got some other things coming up. There's haven't really talked about it. Apparently there's a new Challenge Mania Nashville happening in July.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows about all of that. And other than that, at Smashing Heads on Twitter, at Smashing Heads Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. 5-star reviews on iTunes help if you can do that. If you haven't done it yet, if you enjoy the show, go ahead and do that. And right now we're just waiting for All Stars 3 premieres in May. And the casting spoilers for the new CBS spinoffs came out. And I know some of our members are excited based on but to me it's just like but there are 2 people from the Survivor season we just watched.
Oh, for real?
Yep. And
I might be interested.
so but other than that, it's just like I don't care at all. But we'll talk about that a little bit off air. But until next week, we'll be back with you.
Have a good night, everyone.